Welcome back to Sky Sports News. Now it's time to have some more reaction to the huge breaking news this hour that Viktor Gyökeres has signed for Arsenal from Sporting. Deal done, £63.5 million, a 5-year deal. And to get more reaction, I'm pleased to be joined by Sophie Nicolau from the Highbury squad podcast. Sophie, brilliant to see you. Salute your squaddies, Soph. Look, let's get your initial reaction. We know Arsenal have been chasing this player for some time. Arsenal have kind of teased the fans for a little bit, maybe went on a little bit longer than they were hoping for, but it's finally confirmed he's an Arsenal player. What's your reaction, Soph?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable signing, a marquee signing, and a little bit like Zubimendi. We kind of knew it was coming. We had to wait, not as long as the Zubimendi deal, an announcement, of course, but it's official now. He's a Gunner. He did everything he possibly could to join this club. His agent did everything he possibly could to join this club, both giving up a lot of money for Viktor Gyökeres to become a Gunner. And you know, today I'm kind of looking at it from a fan perspective. You know, you do shows, you do broadcasts. I have the pleasure of coming on here to talk about the club that I love. But today was maybe since the Declan Rice signing where I sat back and just wanted to really enjoy it as a fan, to have a moment where you get such a player who really can make a difference to this team, James. We've been crying out for a number 9 since Aubameyang left. And he takes on the baton just like Aubameyang did as well, wearing that number 14 shirt. And I can't remember a signing, maybe since Declan, we haven't had too many, but a universally loved positive reaction to a player coming into the club.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. If you look on social media, huge buzz of Arsenal fans excited by this, excited by the prospect of bringing in someone who scored 54 goals in 52 games last season. So, look, are there any concerns that you might have for the player? Bear in mind, he's come from the Portuguese league. Before that, played in the Championship with Coventry.
I think any signing is a risk. It's like the stocks. You invest one day, you're up, you're down. And you know there's a lot of criteria that goes into signing a player, and I know that Arsenal, like many other top clubs in the Premier League, do their due diligence and homework before they put pen to paper. I think coming from the Portuguese league is going to give some people some skepticism, but at the same time, when you score more goals than Mbappe, and you know you all have also played at the top level in European competition against some of the best as well, I think Arsenal fans should be excited about this. It's never a guarantee that any player is going to work out, but the way Gyökeres has handled himself coming into the club, I feel like he's going to be more fearless than fearful. You know, like I said, to want to wear that number 14 shirt, you don't take that lightly either. And he comes in with a huge burden. There's no doubt about that. There's going to be huge pressure. We need a prolific goal scorer. Many fans think that because we haven't had one is the main reason why we haven't been able to win the Premier League and put the icing on the process cake, you know, the previous 2 seasons. So with that said, I feel like he's a player that just gives that vibe that he's ready and raring to go, and he'll relish the challenge to be Arsenal's number 1.
And Sophie, he's now the 6th signing Arsenal have made this summer. Sporting director Andrea Berta has been busy since arriving, not just long-term contracts for the likes of Gabriel, Miles Lewis-Skelly, but we're looking at the signings now. Gyökeres joins Noni Madueke, Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Christian Mosquera and Kepa Arrizabalaga incomings, and that's, well, what, a month before or a few weeks before the start of the season. How impressed have you been with not just the Gyökeres signing, but the whole business that Arsenal have done in this window so far?
And James, let's also add new contract for Miles Lewis-Skelly, absolute baller. New contract for Big Gabby, absolute baller. New contract for Waneri, absolute baller. And then you add these players who some will start and some will make our bench stronger. And let's be honest, last season when we suffered from injuries, our bench was weak. We didn't have like-for-like players to come on. We weren't prepared for that at all. I think it's been a great window so far. Zubimendi, very exciting player who can control the tempo of a game, brings this stability to the midfield. Norgard, a Brentford captain, has all the experience in the Premier League, an underrated signing in my opinion. one that Arsenal fans may look back on in 6 or 7 months' time and say, wow, that was a really astute signing. We were worried about David Raya if he got injured last season. Who was going to step in? Here comes Kepa, a goalkeeper with experience, and at 5 million, what an absolute bargain. Mosquera, he's played the most games of any player in any league in Europe under the age of 21. We've been monitoring him for a long time, a much desired player, and I think comes in and could end up being a Saliba-esque type defender. And of course, Madueke. For me, he could be one of the most exciting signings this summer. I was talking to Henry Winter the other day on the show, talked about the fact that he's been working with his skills coach. Tuchel loves him. Mikel loves him. I think he's a player that is very underrated because he came from Chelsea. There was a lot of, anger from Arsenal fans. But at the same time, let's give him a chance. Let him put on the shirt and let him show what he can do. And I just think that if you can bring Eze, Arsenal, if anyone's listening, it would take this transfer window over the edge. That's me as a fan talking now. What a player. He would be unbelievable. And I think that takes Arsenal to a 10 out of 10 summer transfer window if we can get Eze's signature as well, James.
I was going to say, Sophie, all fans' dream, especially in the transfer window. So Eze will be your next one in and you'd be satisfied. But look, let's finish up on Gyökeres. What does that mean for Arsenal's chances of closing that gap at the top, winning that silverware that's been eluding them since the FA Cup of 2020?
When you look at the fine margins in football, I think some of those fine margins in those seasons were missed chances. You could look to the Trossard, miss, and I don't want to pick on players at Aston Villa. Listen, I'm not going to, single out players, but if you have a prolific goal scorer, you've seen, what Haaland did for Manchester City, although playing in a different position, Mo Salah, what he's been able to do and deliver for Liverpool. We've had really good players and we've got a fantastic squad. But sometimes you need a Rottweiler in the box. You need someone to be beautiful, yes, but you also need someone to get down and dirty. And I think Gyökeres can do that. 6-yard, 8-yard, outside, prolific penalty taker as well. And I think maybe underrated in terms of what he offers off the ball. So for me, he provides competition as well. Kai Havertz, this is a good thing for him. This is a good thing for the squad. This is a great thing for the club to have a player who's coming in so hungry that wants to prove and show to everyone what he can do at the Arsenal. And I think a goal scorer like him, if he hits the ground running, takes us over the edge. And sure, we can challenge Liverpool, and Manchester City will be playing like a wounded animal this season after the poor season they had last.
Sophie, thank you so much for dedicating your Saturday night to us. I'm sure you don't mind after that huge breaking news.
Always grateful for the opportunity to talk to you guys. At ease, and welcome Gyökeres.
Well